got all the stitching done on both of these, like that and like that, and I put a final top coat on the inside of both pieces. Edges are all nicely burnished. It's easier to burnish the edges now before you glue it together than after it's glued together. At least it is for me. And the next step is going to be to glue these two pieces together. Now, I've already taken my scratch awl and, well, scratched up the smooth leather. Just scratch it up where the glue is going to go. That way, it'll give the glue some tooth to hold on to it, and it'll hold better. Now I got my stitching needles ready, and those will just go in the corner like that. They'll just go in these four corners here once I have it all glued together, or as I glue it together, just to make sure. Ooh, a little bit off. There we go. Just to make sure that all these corners line up. That way when I continue my stitch line, it'll look like one continuous stitch. You won't have any gaps or wide parts or narrow parts. And well, let's get set up and get some glue on this thing. Good. Be right back. Okay, the idea is to put glue on both of these pieces, on both sides. Wait for that to get tacky, and then you can stick it together. And well, it's contact cement, and that's how it works. Just got to be careful not to get it anywhere I don't want it. Just take it right up to my line there. And then spread the glue just all over it. Whoopsie, don't want it in there. And I'm going to take it all the way out to the edge. Some people say not to do that because it'll interfere with your burnishing. And I used to be one of those people. I said, don't do that. But I found, as I've gone along and done more leather and stuff, hey, it's fine. Try not to leave any big globs. I try to make sure that it's a smooth, even layer over the surface. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue doing that on all the rest of these pieces. And we'll be back to see how that goes. Put the glue on. There's some people that like to do 2 coats, or they'll thin their glue and do it in 2 coats that way. I just find, personally, that 1 coat's enough. And the idea behind the glue isn't to actually hold the holster permanently, but rather it holds it together long enough and well enough that you can work on it. Because the glue, even though it does penetrate into the leather a little bit, you still have a lot of unsupported leather that can pull apart. But once you stitch it, that's not going anywhere. Okay, we'll be back, like I said, and we'll be ready to put these 2 pieces together. Alright, now for the fun part. I've stuck my needles in the holes, and they're going to be like, basically like alignment pins and standoffs. So I can go ahead and line them up. before I push them together. And then I'll just run them on down. Push it to a little more. So you kind of get the idea there. Now very carefully run them on down those needles till I get really close to sticking them together. Okay, I'll start at this end. And just touch them together. Because I can still adjust it if I need to. I can pull these apart and adjust it, but that looks pretty good as is. Now on this side, I can tell that this is a little bit, this side is just a little bit shorter, so I can bend that just a little to help to line up the front to the back. And then push those on together, and there you go. I got my stitch holes lined up and I got my pieces glued. I like the alignment, so I can go ahead and start mashing that together. Okay, that should be enough for me to be able to pull the pins out. The needles out. Don't need to leave those in. And then I'm going to beat the crap out of it. Make sure I get it all the way around the edges. And it's all completely glued down. Do the same to this side. Being careful not to hit your fingers. Sure that's mashed down there. And if I really wanted to, if I really felt it was necessary, I could sandwich it between a couple of pieces of paper and put my toolbox on top of it, and that could help to clamp it. But honestly, it doesn't look like it's pulling anywhere, so that should be that. I'm going to clean up my mess, straighten up a bit, and leave that sit overnight. And then I'm going to go ahead and sand these edges, and I may burnish it before I stitch it if I think it looks good enough. And then go ahead and punch my stitch holes. Getting closer. See you next time.